Joining a destitute immortal cultivation family, I was deposed only at the beginning, and the fairy withdrew. Fortunately, this person is not me, Zhao Xiuxuan. I had an ordinary start, but I had a skill panel. When faced with turbulence, I tried my best to turn the tide and led my family to cultivate the immortal world alone. This book is also known as My Skills Infinite Upgrade, Basic Spell Killing Immortals, and Cultivating Immortals is Not a Thing, Novel Keywords. Family Cultivation. I have a skill panel without pop-ups. Family Cultivation. I have a skill panel. Download the complete set of TXT. Family Cultivation. I have a skill panel. Latest chapters to read. Chapter 1. Zhao Family in Chishan. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 1 Zhao Family in Chishan Yan State, Nanshan County. The mountain breeze is noisy, and the chirping of insects can be heard. Thunder roared in the valley not far from the foot of Chishan, as if night rain was approaching. Dark clouds covered the moon, and the night became dark. Puff. The man in green clothes carrying a sword, holding a torch, walked through the mist by the river in a hurry, as if searching for something. Half a month ago, the Zhao family claimed to be the most promising cultivator in the past century to break through the foundation building tradition. Zhao Xiuxuan successfully swallowed the foundation building pill through qi refining, but the foundation building failed. His cultivation level fell to the middle stage of qi refining, and the elixir field was damaged. It is feared that he will not be able to build the foundation for 20 years, causing the people of the clan to lose heart and cry out in sorrow. At this critical moment, the Chu family fairy, who had already made a marriage agreement with Zhao Xiuxuan, resolutely broke off their relationship and withdrew from the marriage, leaving the entire Zhao family with no face in the Xiuxian realm of Nanshan County. The Zhao family was enraged but helpless. Zhao Xuanwu, the ancestor of the Zhao family, was originally a golden elixir cultivator from the Dragon Snake Mountain in the northern desert. Due to a failed competition for the sect leader, he fled to the Yan state with his family members seriously injured. He spent most of his body from the Yan state's bulk Qinyun Valley to purchase a second-level inferior spiritual vein from the Chishan Mountain, and established the Zhao family's sect. But in just 50 years, the old ancestor was seriously injured but did not heal, and he passed away. The second-generation clan leader was Zhao Baoxiu during the middle period of building the foundation, who supported each other with the elder Zhao Baoshan and held on to the foundation of his ancestors for 130 years. Later, they successively abdicated and left. At that time, the Zhao family was unable to take over, and had to rely on the shoulders of Zhao Lingting, who had only achieved perfect qi refining. When Zhao Lingting became the chieftain, he was already old and his qi and blood were gradually declining, and there was no possibility of building a foundation. Fortunately, in recent years, a talented Zhao Xiuxuan emerged from the clan. He thought he could build a foundation safely, but never thought of such a thing. Originally, the clan leader Zhao Lingting opposed public opinion and exchanged a spirit stone for a shop in Fianfang, in order to purchase a foundation building pill to increase Zhao Xiuxuan's chances of building a foundation. Unexpectedly, the situation that was supposed to be very stable went wrong. After being divorced, Zhao Xiuxuan was also feeling frustrated. After causing a lot of trouble in the clan, he went somewhere in the past few days. The clan leader regained his composure and was about to find him. Zhao Xiuxuan received a mission today to search around Chishan. The fall of genius, divorce, and everything that happened to Zhao Xiuxuan were all standard protagonist templates. Zhao Xiuxuan shook his head and smiled, thinking to himself. If it comes to the protagonist template, isn't it more like me as a walkthrough originally? Zhao Xiuxuan was not a person from this world. In his previous life, he was an ordinary employee. One night, while working overtime, he suddenly felt a sudden surge in his heart and soon passed out. When he woke up, he became a person with the same name and surname in this world. My father was a qi refining cultivator of the Zhao family. When Zhao Xiuxuan was young, he died from going out for training. My mother returned to her original family with her newborn sister, but for some reason, Zhao Xiuxuan was left alone. Zhao Xiuxuan later lived in the mountains for many years. At the age of 11, he washed his essence and cut through the marrow to inherit the Xiantian skill of eating and transforming essence. He has practiced 5 layers of qi at the age of 20. 6. According to the realm, he is divided into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. At this time, he belongs to the middle stage of qi refining, and his qualifications are ordinary. In the Zhao family, he is in the middle stage. Having been in this world for 2 months, Zhao Xiuxuan has already integrated into his identity. The sound of the carriage coming from the nearby road, which sounded creaking, alerted him. It's already late at night, and ahead lies the territory of Chishan. Who came at this moment? On gravel roads. A carriage slowly drove towards us. The white horse was all in one color, carrying a sandalwood carriage, adorned with brocade and tassels, extremely luxurious. On the wooden frame of the carriage, there was a blue phoenix tattooed. A man in black clothes sat in the driver's seat, pulling his back like a bow and his eyes like knives. Zhao Xiuxuan glanced at the Qinghuan on the carriage, and knew that it was the Chu family of Wutong Mountain. The big man on the carriage was really round and full of spirit. Without using exploration, he knew that his realm was several levels higher than that of him. He must be a monk in the later period of qi refining. He quickly arched his hand and said, "I don't know why a cultivator from the Chu family came to Chishan in the car. Unfortunately, today the formation of Chishan is sealed. If you have any urgent matters, let me convey them through a note." The Chu and Zhao families had a 3-generation marriage alliance. If it had been in the past, there would have been no need to report and verify their identities in order to enter Chishan. However, now the man immediately stopped talking and lifted the curtain of the car, pulling out a person with blood wounds all over his body and a pale complexion. Although the night was dark, the blue robe with cloud patterns on his body was particularly prominent and familiar. Zhao Xiuxuan fixed his gaze and saw that this was Zhao Xiuxuan, who was searching for him in the crowd. After identifying it correctly, he was shocked and took out a bright talisman from his waist to pinch in his hand. As long as the man in the later stage of qi refining had the intention to take action, this Xuanwu talisman could form a layer of spiritual shield protection in a moment. Even if the cultivator wanted to break it in a cup of tea, it would be difficult for him. As long as you hold on for this time and present another messenger, you can summon the support of your tribe. With a calm mind, Zhao Xiuxuan's face remained unchanged and he asked in an ordinary tone, "Dao Yu, what does this mean? Why are our Zhao family members on the chariot of the Chu family?" After hearing this, the man in black clothes exclaimed in surprise on his face, "You're a kind-hearted person, not like this person." As he spoke, the man in Xuani sneered and nodded at Zhao Xiuxuan, who was lying still. 2 days ago, this son claimed to be a member of the Zhao family. He came to our Wutong mountain to call the battle front and attacked the door of the Chu family with magic. He threatened not that the Chu family would resign, but that he would divorce the daughter of the Chu family. He also took out a letter of divorce and insulted the family name of the Chu family. Everyone knew that the Chu family and the Zhao family had always made good friends. How could they tolerate such a villain from the middle of the battle? His peers came forward to compete with him. I thought that this son must be a skilled person because he was so wild. I never thought that he would fail without taking a few moves. Come down. It's normal for cultivators' fighting style to be neither light nor heavy. The elders of the clan were afraid that it was the Zhao family's son, so they hurriedly went to investigate, but by the time they arrived, it was already too late. The man in Xuani spoke politely, but in his hand, he threw Zhao Xiuxuan over like a tattered cloth. Zhao Xiuxuan quickly took it seriously. I took a sniff, and although my breath fluctuated, at least there was still breath. Using his sword finger to probe the dantian, he found that Zhao Xiuxuan's dantian was almost completely shattered and his cultivation was completely lost. Looking at his restless and free out-of-body expression, Zhao Xiuxuan was greatly shocked. The Chu family's poisonous heart has directly destroyed Zhao Xiuxuan's elixir field, and this life has no connection with cultivation. Although he had just arrived for the first time, Zhao Xiuxuan couldn't help but feel a little cold at the sight of the Zhao family being so humiliated. The man in Xuani saw Zhao Xiuxuan's cold face and laughed heartily. "You're so brave, a cultivator who has just entered the middle stage of qi refining. How dare you face me with such courage? Who are you?" Zhao Xiuxuan actually didn't know why he had just fallen in love. He vaguely felt that there might still be the influence of his original body. At this moment, when asked by the man in Xuani, his heart calmed down and his face became expressionless again, making it difficult for him to see his emotions. Zhao Xiuxuan of the Zhao family is concise, with the Xuanwu talisman in his hand, and half a mile behind him is the location of the Chishan mountain protection formation. Even in the later stage of qi refining, he has no fear. Xuanwu talisman is the inheritance of Zhao Xuanwu's golden pill, the ancestor of the Zhao family. It was originally a third-level intermediate talisman. After more than a decade of contemplation and research by the second-generation clan leader Zhao Baoxiu, a new first-level ultimate talisman was extracted from it, inheriting the name Xuanwu. From then on, Xuanwu talisman became a unique water talisman of the Zhao family, and based on this, the Zhao family was able to open 3 stores and obtain spiritual stone income. The Xuanwu talisman is more important than defense, with a skill that cannot be attacked by 1,000 Jun. Zhao Xiuxuan thought to himself that there was no need to cause any more trouble at this moment. He sent Zhao Xiuxuan back to the clan for traditional Chinese medicine treatment. Although the damage to the dantian was so severe, his cultivation was considered complete, but if he could survive, it would be better to become a wealthy family member. Thinking of this, he picked up Zhao Xiuxuan and was about to leave. The man in Xuani refused and jumped into the air, slapping him with a powerful palm. Before the palm could reach him, a baby-sized fireball rushed towards him. End of this chapter. Chapter 2. Skill Panel. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 2 Skill Panel, Fire Cloud Palm. The Chu family was born into a high family, and it is said that the secular imperial family used martial arts to enter the Tao. Although this move, Huiyun Palm, is a basic move, its power is astonishing when used by the Xuani man. Although Zhao Xiuxuan was holding on to someone, his feet looked like ghosts. While he was just exploring the dantian for Zhao Xiuxuan, he had already applied a Luo Yen step to himself. His Luo Yen step is different from the ordinary Luo Yen step. It was as if a black wind was blowing, immediately evading the Xianyi man's palm fire, followed by another virtual jump, dodging the oncoming King Kong's palm. Bang! A big hole was cut open on the ground with a palm, and debris flew everywhere. The Xuani Great Han let out a light sigh, then flew up and once again swung out several fire palms in the air. But all of them were dodged by Zhao Xiuxuan like a butterfly piercing through flowers. What kind of body method are you, the divine walking step? No, the divine walking step is a second-order body method, and as a qi refining cultivator, you have no such magical power. The man in Xuani was quite surprised. Although his fire cloud palm had absorbed a few tenths of its power, it was still a bit unbelievable that Zhao Xiuxuan could easily dodge it. Zhao Xiuxuan looked at his palm strength and knew that the other party had not taken it seriously. He was afraid that there might be something else going on. However, since the other party had already taken action, he couldn't justify not entertaining him. Besides, this is the first time in this world that I have truly fought against people. I can't say that I should take this opportunity to give it a try. Thinking of this, he took out a messenger from his arms and briefly explained the situation. A golden light flew to Chishan, while the other hand still held on to a Xuanwu talisman and did not relax. Under his feet, he once again used ghostly tricks, taking a few virtual steps and jumping, transforming into several virtual shadows and throwing 4 fireballs in front, back, left, and right of the Xianyi Great Han. The Xuanyi Great Han saw attacks on all sides, and one of them broke his leg and dodged the front two. He waved his hand and swung two palm fires left and right, bang bang. The palm fire and fireball technique exploded, emitting a huge burst sound. There is no need for Zhao Xiuxuan to report this noise. It is likely that Chishan has already sensed something is happening here. The Xuanyi Great Han originally thought that this son's footwork was outstanding, and the spells he cast must be decent, but he didn't expect that this fireball technique was just ordinary, not half the power of his fire cloud palm. Your steps are strange and tight, and your spells are ordinary. What exactly is your origin, kid? Zhao Xiuxuan ignored him and stepped on his feet with a fierce wind. Every step he took was a black cyclone. The Xuanyi Great Han saw a few moves of Huiyun palm approaching the little boy in front of him, and his moves changed. He took out a long sword from his storage bag and roared and swung it round, resulting in a four-sided horizontal slash. Fire/saber technique. A visible ring of fire exploded, leaving Zhao Xiuxuan with nowhere to hide from jumping around. Zhao Xiuxuan knew that his fireball technique could not harm the cultivator of the Chu family, so he simply allowed him to use the fire/saber technique, using only Luoyan's steps to pierce through the fire and smoke, like performing acrobatics to avoid being struck by knives and knives. After half a cup of tea, the Xianyi man's heart skipped a beat as he beat. This kid was as agile as a flea, with a wide-open and close broadsword combined with fire-style slashes, unable to even touch his body. At this moment, several figures from the direction of Chishan roared and rushed towards us. The Xianyi man furrowed his brow and withdrew his knife to lean towards it. Kid, stop fighting. I didn't expect the younger generation of the Zhao family to have such a body technique in their hands. My name is Chu Lanfei, remember that. Zhao Xiuxuan knew that the elders of the family had arrived, but remained silent. He just arched his hand at the big man in Xuanyi to show that he remembered. The big man in Xuanyi frowned, and Zhao Xiuxuan's attitude made him find it a bit interesting. Chu Lanfei. The people from the Zhao family are the elders of Zhao Duyun in the later stage of qi refining. They are all cultivators of the same generation. When the Zhao family fell into the clan, their ancestor Zhao Xuanwu appointed Xianbao Lingdu, Shuzhen Guiyuan, Tongluo Xian Gong as the clan's first generation. Zhao Duyun is the preaching elder of the Zhao family. Zhao Xiuxuan immediately transmitted the message to him. Upon receiving the flying talisman transmission, Zhao Duyun quickly brought several cultivators from the middle stage of qi refining to come. Xiukong. Zhao Duyun saw the miserable situation of Zhao Xiukong and quickly went up to help him investigate. Seeing that the dantian was completely damaged, he was even more angry and gnashed his teeth. Your Chu family is bullying people too much. Zhao Duyun offered a flying sword from his waist storage bag, with a blue light flowing and spinning half a foot in between his forehead. As soon as a magic spell was struck, he was about to fight against Chu Lanfei. Zhao Duyun, are you really going to have a fight with me? Chu Lanfei changed his attitude of actively provoking Zhao Xiuxuan, with a solemn expression on his face. Today I came here on behalf of Wutong Mountain. This fight between you and me represents the official break between Chu and Zhao families. You. Zhao Duyun was furious, and the flying sword's blue light surged incessantly, but he did not truly grasp this sword technique to the end. Duyun, let's step back first. A warm voice sounded from behind Zhao Duyun, and the old clan leader Zhao Lingting walked towards him. Zhao Xiuxuan quickly joined the crowd and verbally referred to him as the clan chief. Clan leader, this Chu family has bullied my Zhao family and there is no one left. Xiukong Dantian has been destroyed, and I have no chance to practice in this lifetime. Zhao Duyun was furious and unable to handle it, his face full of anger, but he put down the sword technique in his hand. Seeing Zhao Lingting come forward, Chu Lanfei straightened up a bit and bowed his hand and weighed out. Uncle Zhao Xiuxuan was taken aback for a moment, then remembered that the clan leader Zhao Lingting had an alliance with the Chu family. Now, among the two foundation-building cultivators in the Chu family, one of them, Chu Yuji, who is now half of the family, is the wife of the clan leader Zhao Lingting. Only 20 years ago when he returned to Wutong Mountain to visit his relatives, he never appeared. It was only later that he heard of his breakthrough in seclusion and became a foundation builder. Zhao Lingting waved his hand to Chu Lanfei and looked at Zhao Xiuxuan. His face was also extremely unpleasant, with a change in color. What's going on with this matter? Tell me more about it. Chu Lanfei repeated the call he had just made to Zhao Xiuxuan. After hearing this, Zhao Lingting remained silent for a long time. Seeing that Zhao Xiuxuan was right next to Zhao Xiuxuan, he ordered. Xiuxuan, take Xiuxuan back to the tribe first and save his life. Zhao Xiuxuan and a member of the clan holding hands lifted Zhao Xiuxuan and left. Before they could go far, they heard Zhao Lingting leisurely say a sentence, "I'm not dead yet, can't Chu Yuji hold back?" Halfway through, Zhao Xiuxuan combined some past speculations with today's experience and finally tasted some flavors. Nanshan County is located in the south of the Yangtze River, where most of the families entered the society, so there are many families. Let's ignore the other boundaries. In the area around Chishan, there are Wutong Shu Chu's family, Qingshan Li's family, and two foundation-building families. 30 years ago, the Zhao family was also one. In those days, the Li family was powerful, and there were 3 foundation-building monks in the family, and even the late foundation-building period was in charge. So, let's not talk about the generation of the ancestors. When the second generation of the Zhao family arrived, they were the two families of Chu and Zhao. Chu and Zhao began to make friends in order to resist the Li family, and their children formed an alliance through marriage, which led to their confrontation with the Li family. However, in recent decades, Zhao Lingting, the third-generation leader of the Zhao family, was only a successful cultivator in refining qi. The Chu family was inspired by him, not only deceiving Chu Yuji back into their clan, but also inciting her to return to the Chu family and take over the position of elder as the Chu family. Since then, the Chu family has had the intention of annexing the Zhao family, but for some reason, there has been no action taken. Recalling the last sentence of the clan chief, "I'm not dead yet, can't Chu Yuji hold back?" Zhao Xiuxuan boldly speculated that perhaps the time when the Zhao family was annexed by the Chu family was when Zhao Lingting was sitting down. Placing Zhao Xiuxuan in the Hall of Nourishing Qi, a clan elder hurriedly came to pick him up and kept saying, "Damn it. How could it be so badly injured?" He helped Zhao Xiuxuan lie down and went to the back hall to retrieve the pill. Zhao Xiuxuan saw someone busy, so he lifted his foot and walked outside. Suddenly, he heard the faint sound of Zhao Xiuxuan coming from behind. "Thank you, Brother 13. When he looked back, Zhao Xiuxuan still had lifeless eyes, staring at him with empty eyes on his side. Zhao Xiuxuan returned to his cave and sat in a chair pondering for a long time. How could he think about it? How could he feel that the current situation in the clan was not very optimistic? 3 months ago, everyone was eagerly anticipating the success of Zhao Xiuxuan's foundation construction, and he continued to walk with the Zhao family, never thinking about it now. Upon careful consideration, Zhao Xiuxuan himself had extraordinary qualifications and was aided by the foundation building pill. Why did he fail to build the foundation? Is there any secret to this? After thinking for a long time, Zhao Xiuxuan sighed, "Now I am on the same boat as the Zhao family, sharing the same spirit and flourishing and losing everything. If the Zhao family falls, my Zhao Xiuxuan will also become a rootless duckweed. It is difficult to support a single tree, and there are no 2 rules for cultivating the immortal world." Thinking of this, his heart felt as heavy as a stone. After a moment, Zhao Xiuxuan's heart lit up, his sword finger pressed against his forehead, and a dazzling skill panel appeared in front of him out of thin air. Name: Zhao Xiuxuan, life expectancy 25 93 years old, root bone. Flat and unremarkable, 10 out of 100, realm. Qi refining level 5, 33 out of 100, practice. Xiantian Gong, 0. 88 out of 100, remaining points. 0, skills. Spell. Fireball, 0. 39 out of 100, Luo Yanbu, 1. 21 200, Rebirth Technique, 0. 5/100, Control Symbol. Xuanwu Symbol, 0. 89 out of 100, Exploring Spirit Talisman, 0. 10 out of 100, Martial Arts. 10 Swordsmanship, 0. 78/100, this is the guarantee for him to settle down in this world. End of this chapter. Chapter 3. Summoning of Clan Chiefs. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 3 Summoning of Clan Chiefs. This skill panel originated from a game played by Zhao Xiuxuan in his past life, and he quickly understood the purpose of the panel. Life expectancy, roots, and realm are all three major elements of himself. Gongfa is his main cultivation, Xiantian Gong, and the inherited martial arts of the Zhao family. In the skill category, it reflects all the skills he has learned, including spells, talismans, and martial arts. As for other alchemy, formations, and other cultivation techniques, as his original body has never been exposed to them, it is impossible to record them. The number after the skill represents proficiency, for example, Luo Yanbu, 1. 21 out of 200, this indicates that Zhao Xiuxuan has already upgraded the magic of Luo Yanbu once, so it is, 1. The power of Luo Yanbu, 0, and Luo Yanbu, 1, cannot be compared. That's why when he was fighting against Chu Lanfei before, his footsteps were so ghostly that even Chu Lanfei, a later cultivator, couldn't figure it out. At the stage of Luo Yanbu, 1, his proficiency is 21, indicating that if he completes a proficiency of 200, he can further advance to the next stage. All the proficiencies in the skill panel were improved from 0 by Zhao Xiuxuan since he crossed over. As for why he chose Luo Yan Step as the first improvement, it is because Luo Yan Step is relatively hidden and consumes the least amount of mana, unlike fireball spells that require finding an open space to cast and throwing fireballs. It is worth mentioning that when any skill reaches a stage of improvement, there will be 10 points stored as the remaining points, which can be used to improve the root bone or realm. He used the 10 points of the light body technique to improve his ordinary root bone, because the root bone represents the speed of cultivation. If the root bone is better, his cultivation speed will also be much faster, and the improvement of his realm will be significantly improved. More importantly, based on his understanding of past life games, Zhenggu gains an aura for each stage of improvement. Ordinary bonus series such as Alchemy bonus, Talisman bonus, Spiritual plant bonus, Fire bonus, Ice bonus, etc. can accelerate the proficiency of certain skills. Stronger ones include Water Spirit Body, Wind Spirit Body, etc., which directly increase spell damage. There are also powerful buffs such as Move Magic that can be similar to spell critical strikes. In addition, there are also the abnormal series of innate Dao Bones, Sword Heart Holy Bodies, Reincarnation of Dan Immortals, True Phoenix Bloodlines, etc., but these are all rare and have a very low probability. The beauty of Qi is more important than realm to some extent, and of course, improving one's realm is also an urgent matter. Just now, after a brief battle with Chu Lanfei, both Luo Yanbu and Fireball have improved their proficiency by 1 or 2. After this attempt, Luo Yanbu has upgraded once, and even Chu Lanfei in the later stage of Qi refining is somewhat confused in terms of body methods, and the effect is obvious. At present, I am close to being proficient in the Xuanwu Talisman and 10 Swordsmanship, which are used to make talismans. Therefore, I will choose the next improvement target from these two skills. Xuanwu Symbol, 0. 89 out of 100, 10 Swordsmanship, 0. 78 out of 100, among these two, Xuanwu talismans are made from talismans. For Zhao Xiuxuan's current situation, it is obviously more appropriate to choose the 10 swordsmanship. After making the decision, he opened the window and looked at the night outside. Then, he sat cross-legged and used the 5 Qi Chaoyuan posture to swallow and exhale instead of sleeping and nourishing his energy. Qi refining cultivators do not build a foundation and do not fully break free from the valley for a day, resulting in a lack of essence and energy. They need to meditate and vomit, or simply fall asleep to replenish their energy, blood, and spirit. Early the next morning, Zhao Xiuxuan, who was full of energy, picked up his sword and ran towards the Xuanwu Peak dojo. Xuanwu Peak is the highest mountain in Chishan and also the main peak of Chishan. Originally named Baiyang Peak, it was the second-generation chieftain after the passing of his ancestor. Zhao Baoxiu named it the main peak after his ancestor Zhao Xuanwu. Not only that, Zhao Baoxiu also established clan rules in the beginning. There were members of the clan who had achieved perfect qi refining, who could be the elders of the clan. They also chose a peak in Chishan as their unique place of cultivation. Up to now, the Zhao family has 4 elders, Zhao Lingcheng, Zhao Lingquan, Zhao Duyun, Zhao Duxian, each named after him. So, besides the main peak Xuanwu Peak, there are 4 other elder peaks, namely Lingcheng Peak, Lingquan Peak, Duyun Peak, and Duxian Peak. According to clan regulations, children of the Zhao family can reside in any cave in the 5 peaks, but most clan members choose their place of residence based on their own clan lineage. For example, Zhao Xiuxuan's father is Zhao Duliang, and Zhao Duliang and Zhao Lingcheng have a legitimate family uncle-nephew relationship, so Zhao Xiuxuan lived in Lingcheng Peak from a young age. Lingcheng Peak is adjacent to Xuanwu Peak, located to the east of Chishan. Zhao Xiuxuan walked along the blue stone staircase between the 2 peaks, carrying his sword. At sunrise, the sea of clouds surged and shone brightly. Along the way, I encountered many members of my clan. If it were elders, Zhao Xiuxuan would refer to them as uncles, aunts, while if it was peers, he would refer to them as brothers, and so on. He noticed that both his clan uncles and peers were looking dejected today, thinking to himself that the news of Zhao Xiuqong's Dantian being abandoned yesterday had already spread throughout Chishan. Hey, Xiuqong nephew, why bother with this? Zhao Xiuxuan passed by a water pavilion, and under the roaring waterfall, he happened to encounter several clan uncles discussing this matter. One of them, with a short grey beard under his chin and a bun tied on his head, shook his head and felt sorry for Zhao Xiuqong's actions. Although Xiuqong failed to build the foundation this time, he could only cultivate for a few years. After the Dantian was restored, he would elevate his realm to a complete level of qi refining. There is no hope of climbing the foundation again in the future. Now, Zhao Duju, what are you saying? The Chu family has insulted our Zhao family, retreating from our Zhao family's marriage in front of families of all sizes in Nanshan. Such a slap on our face is unbearable. If you want me to say, Xiuqong's nephew did the right thing. If you want to blame him, you can only blame the Chu family for bullying us too much. Zhao Duju, don't be so indiscriminate just because you married the Chu family's wife. The other clan uncle seemed to have been angry for a long time, and upon hearing this, he pointed at Zhao Duju and cursed without hesitation. Zhao Duju's face immediately turned red, his teeth clenched, and he angrily retorted, Chiga, what are you saying? Shan Mei has been married to the Zhao family for more than 30 years, working diligently and frugally, but she has a slight elbow turning outwards. What do you mean by this? Is it not that the woman I married to the Zhao family, or the daughter of the Zhao family who married to the Chu family, should have been slandered by your words for nothing? The clan uncle, known as the 7 brothers, knew he had said the wrong thing and wanted to explain it, but due to face saving, he could only squint his eyes and ignore it. Seeing that the atmosphere was not right, others quickly persuaded. There's still a younger generation present, aren't you two losing your share? Upon seeing this, Zhao Xiuxuan had to go up and bow to his uncles in a proper manner, greeting them one by one. Being mixed up by Zhao Xiuxuan and persuaded by others, Seven Brother, who knew his words were inappropriate, apologized to Zhao Dou in a hesitant manner. The two chatted casually again and again, but still harbored resentment in their hearts, and parted ways unhappily. Zhao Xiuxuan, who had left, took a Luo Yen step and arrived at the dojo in a quarter of an hour. The martial arts dojo of the Zhao family was actually an open valley of Xuanwu Peak, paved with blue bricks and stones, which was very suitable for practicing various spells and martial arts. The Zhao family, unlike the Chu family, entered the Dao through martial arts. Their disciples often practiced magic and had few martial arts skills. Even the 10 swordsmanship, a sword technique, was very common. It is said that it was only obtained when their ancestors established their family and their disciples swept through several surrounding bandits. Later, for some unknown reason, it was also placed in the treasure trove of the clan. Of course, the 10 swordsmanship was actually improved by the second-generation clan leader. It changed from being driven by the acquired true qi by martial artists to being driven by the cultivator's dantian spiritual qi. It consists of 10 simple moves, each with a sword-like edge like a snake. The 10 moves work together, and the whole person emits a sword-like edge like a hedgehog. Within 1 or 2 zhang in front of the body, it is much more effective than the fireball technique. However, even so, throughout the martial arts arena, the children of the Zhao family mostly practiced fireball, wind cutting, and spiritual bullet techniques. This type of attack spell is mostly used, even for practicing swordsmanship. It is mainly based on the imperial sword technique that triggers flying swords. There is no need for any moves, as long as the sword in hand is driven like an arm, hit wherever you point, and you will be home. Therefore, Zhao Xiuxuan's careless practice of the 10 swordsmanships in one move at a time in the dojo received some guidance from his clan members. He didn't pay much attention either. With 3,000 avenues, each one had its own unique use. This swordsmanship was practiced proficiently, and when combined with his own Luo Yanbu, it could be said that it was seamless. At this stage, if the firepower was not enough to suppress the enemy, he would engage in close combat and kill them in close combat. This is the lesson he learned from his simple battle with Chu Lanfei. After 2 hours of practicing 10-style swordsmanship and opening the skill panel, Zhao Xiuxuan was pleasantly surprised to find that 10-style swordsmanship had changed from the original, 10-style swordsmanship, 0. 78 out of 100, to 10-style swordsmanship, 0. 82 out of 100. After an hour, he actually gained 4 points of proficiency. It seems that he can still improve by 1 level today. Zhao Xiuxuan was overjoyed and quickly closed the skill panel, starting to practice swordsmanship one by one. The sword energy is crisscrossing, and the green light is swallowing. Another half-hour passed by in a blink of an eye. At this moment, suddenly a blue-clad worker rushed to the dojo and saw Zhao Xiuxuan practicing swordsmanship. He was pleasantly surprised and ran to Zhao Xiuxuan to pay his respects. "What's going on?" Zhao Xiuxuan withdrew the blue sword light swallowed by the cold light in his hand and said strangely after the miscellaneous workers saluted, he quickly said, "Brother, if the clan leader has something to attend to, please hurry to the ancestral temple." "The clan chief wants to see me," Zhao Xiuxuan frowned, unable to think of anything. End of this chapter. Chapter 4. Monster Hunting in the Dead Sea. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 4. Monster Hunting in the Dead Sea. The Zhao family ancestral hall is located at the top of Xuanwu Peak Mountain, behind the main hall. Zhao Xiuxuan stood in front of the 2 huge dragon turtle stone statues and pondered for a moment. In his memory, the clan leader never summoned him alone. I don't know what happened this time, but he vaguely felt that it was related to yesterday's incident with Chu Lanfei. After passing through the long corridor and following the clan rules, Zhao Xiuxuan bowed to the head outside the door and entered the ancestral temple. In the vast hall, on the long tables with varying heights on the left and right, there is a burning eternal lamp that will not be extinguished for 100 years. Coming towards us is a huge portrait hanging directly opposite. In the painting, there is a man in a blue Taoist robe, standing on a dragon turtle with his feet, looking down with his eyebrows, majestic in demeanor, and his clothes fluttering. It is the ancestor of the Zhao family, Zhao Xiuxuan. Under the portrait of the ancestor, rows of spirit cards stand according to their seniority, like arrows in each bag, standing under the ancestor's body, waiting for him to pull his bow and shoot from afar. This is all the members of the Zhao family who have passed away since the establishment of the clan, whether they are cultivators or ordinary people, they all have names and surnames. Among them, Zhao Xiuxuan's father, Zhao Duliang, lived among them. At this moment, there were already several people standing in the ancestral temple, but none of them spoke, just looking solemnly at Zhao Xiuxuan. Until Zhao Xiuxuan wore the same solemn expression and claimed that the younger generation does not respect their descendants, Zhao Xiuxuan under the portrait of the ancestor and after offering incense and kneeling in front of many spiritual tablets, it was only then that someone lifted him up with the gift of elders. It was the clan leader Zhao Lingting who helped him up, and just as Zhao Xiuxuan was kneeling a few zhang away, there was also a young clan member who touched the ground with his forehead and couldn't get up. Zhao Xiuxuan looked around and seemed to look a bit like Zhao Xiuxuan, who was seriously injured and couldn't get up yesterday. In addition to Zhao Lingting and a man resembling Zhao Xiuxuan, there is also a clan uncle next to him, who is one of the 4 elders, Zhao Duxian. Zhao Xiuxuan bowed one by one. Clan leader, for elders, the 2 slightly lowered their heads as a gesture of courtesy. After the ceremony, Zhao Lingting said with a friendly expression on his face, "Xiu Xian, if I remember correctly, you are the grandson of the Lingqing lineage and your father is." Zhao Xiuxuan respectfully said, "My father's name is Taboo, and it is the old lineage of spiritual growth." Zhao Duliang, Zhao Lingting looked back and saw that among the many spiritual tablets, the one with a black background and white characters that read, "Do not disrespect the spirit of the descendants of Zhao Duliang." At that time, Zhao Xiuxuan was still young and could not establish a spiritual tablet for his father, so they were all established according to the rules of the clan. Zhao Lingting frowned as if he had thought of something, and his worried expression grew even stronger. After a while, he asked Zhao Xiuxuan as if nothing had happened, "Xiu Xian, you know that I have summoned you here. What's the point?" Zhao Xiuxuan shook his head and claimed that he didn't know. Zhao Lingting asked directly from the beginning, "Have you ever fought against someone from the Chu family yesterday?" Zhao Xiuxuan was taken aback and realized that it was indeed related to yesterday's incident. He dared not, nor did he need to hide, and directly explained yesterday's incident in detail. Upon hearing Zhao Xiuxuan say that he had been entangled in a battle with Chu Shanfeng in the later stage of qi refining with Luo Yanbu for a moment, Zhao Lingting and Zhao Duxian both looked surprised. One after another used the method of exploration to investigate Zhao Xiuxuan's cultivation, and Zhao Xiuxuan did not resist. The 2 elders looked up and down to gain a thorough understanding. With the 5 layers of qi refining, you can compete with Chu Shanfeng in the later stage of qi refining alone for a cup of tea time. No wonder Chu Shanfeng asked you to go. Chu Shanfeng called on me to go. Zhao Xiuxuan felt a thump in his heart, unaware of what had happened to him. Zhao Lingting didn't show any interest and directly explained the reason for calling him here today. Time goes back to the night of the previous day after Zhao Xiuxuan and several young people left with Zhao Xiuxuan. Zhao Lingting said that sentence, "I'm not dead yet, can't Chu Yuji hold back?" Chu Shanfeng chuckled and replied, "Uncle, you and I both know about this matter, and Aunt Yuji is also very difficult. Why bother talking like this? If it weren't for Aunt Yuji's strong resistance, I'm afraid the head of the Chu family would have waved his hand and attacked Chishan long ago." As soon as these words were spoken, Zhao Lingting's face darkened and he asked expressionlessly afterwards, "Who did the task of cultivating emptiness?" Chu Shanfeng shook his head, "It doesn't make any difference who did what our Chu family did. My uncle must also know that attacking the mountain guard array without authorization has violated the great taboo of the immortal cultivation world. If Aunt Yuji didn't stop it at the last moment, Zhao Xiuxuan's life would not be helped if it was on Wutong Mountain. My Chu family stands on the ground of this matter. I came here to tell the leader of the Chu family that I hope my uncle will go back and think about Zhao Xiuxuan's request for compensation for attacking the 6 great arrays of Wutong Mountain. Oh, the Chu family still has requirements. Zhao Lingting's voice was cold and he couldn't hear any emotions. Chu Shanfeng didn't even look at his face and raised 2 fingers, saying one by one, first. For the spirit stones consumed by the launch of the 6 greatest arrays on Wutong Mountain, you need to compensate 100 spirit stones, or equivalent basalt runes. Secondly, in order for the Zhao family to attack the Chu family's mountain gate, there must be an explanation that the cause should start and end with the young children. 2 months later, the Chu family will send several tribe members to the Dead Sea to hunt down a golden-feathered green bird, and the Zhao family will send 3 young tribe members with at least 5 levels of qi refining to assist in hunting demons. If the Zhao family has no such sincerity, I will personally come to seek justice for the Chu family's attack. This is the original words of the homeowner. After Chu Shanfeng finished speaking, he glanced at Zhao Lingting and added the last sentence. Bullying people is too great. The withered and dead sea monsters are rampant and extremely dangerous. Your Chu family's Qinghuan skill needs to be improved with the essence and blood of the green bird to prepare for future foundation building. This matter is of great use to your Chu family, and it is understandable. However, as members of the Zhao family, accompanying you into dangerous places for nothing would not be worth the loss. Zhao Duyun was furious and said with a look of indignation on his face. Or rather, your Chu family wants to use the monsters from the Dead Sea to kill our people. As he spoke, the flying sword from his storage bag shot out again, turning into a blue light and hovering in front of him. Zhao Lingting scolded and said, Duyun, in front of outsiders, we must not lose the etiquette of our Zhao family. Put away the magical tools. Zhao Duyun glanced at Zhao Lingting and gritted his teeth before retracting his flying sword tool twice. His eyes were bloodshot, and his mouth made a sound of chewing his teeth. Zhao Lingting's eyes remained calm as an abyss, unable to see any fluctuations. Speaking to Chu Shanfeng, what does Chu Yuji say? Chu Shanfeng glanced at him for some reason, feeling even more terrifying towards his calm expression. Coupled with Chu Yuji's fame, his posture unconsciously lowered a bit. Aunt Yuji said, there is another hidden situation at this time, try to be as comprehensive as possible. Upon hearing this, Zhao Lingting agreed without hesitation. In that case, in a month's time, our Zhao family will choose 3 young people to meet in Wutong Mountain. That's great. Chu Shanfeng also breathed a sigh of relief, and then suddenly remembered something. The young man named Zhao Xiuxuan who just left has excellent body skills. If he can, my uncle can send him to Wutong Mountain. End of this chapter. Chapter 5. Planning before departure. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 5 Planning before departure, Dead Sea Monster Hunting. Zhao Xiuxuan's face remained expressionless, and he secretly complained in his heart. According to my own plan, I have cheats like skill panels. I will stay in the mountains and work hard to improve, accumulate knowledge, and have a bright future. Unexpectedly, yesterday's impulsive move was named by Chu Shanfeng. He has a heart to refuse, but he has no reason to refuse. Although he was unaware of the twists and turns involved, he keenly felt that hunting demons together was definitely not an easy task at this turbulent juncture of the Chu and Zhao families. 1 month later, Elder Duxian will take you to Wutong Mountain with Xiuyan and Xiuming. Although the Dead Sea is full of monsters, there is no danger only in the outside for your cultivation. What should be noticed is whether the people of the Chu family harbor evil intentions. However, I will write a letter to Chu Yuji, the Zhuji elder of the Chu family, who will take care of you. Before you depart, each member of the clan will also provide a storage bag, 10 Xuanwu talismans, several spiritual shield talismans, and fireball talismans, which can be considered as rewards given to you in advance by the clan. Zhao Lingting finished his words, feeling a bit tired. He glanced at Zhao Xiuxuan, who still couldn't get up on his knees, and said to him, Xiuxuan saved your life yesterday, and this matter can be considered as an adventure for you. Since you want to worship your ancestors for a long time, then pray for Xiuxuan, Xiuyan, and Xiuming. Zhao Xiuxuan, who was motionless, seemed to fluctuate upon hearing this, his body trembled for a moment, and then he crouched lower. Zhao Xiuxuan was not encouraged, but instead felt quite distressed in his heart. Leaving the ancestral temple, Zhao Xiuxuan immediately made a decision. Quickly improve your own strength. For this, he pondered deeply. For cultivators, the best way to enhance their strength is to elevate their realm. The 5 levels of Qi refining and the 6 levels of Qi refining increase the purity of their mana by a lot, which is beneficial for using spells to suppress firepower or using escape spells to escape life. But currently, my level of refining gas in the 5th layer is only refining gas in the 5th layer. 41 out of 100, if relying solely on proficiency to convert to points, it would require 59 points. Calculated based on every 10 points representing a skill's proficiency level, he needs to complete the proficiency of 4 skills in just 1 month. At present, my proficiency is close to full, and I have Xuan Wufu, 0. 89 out of 100, 10 swordsmanships, 0. 83 out of 100, Xiantian Gong, 0. 88 out of 100 at present. These 3 are easy to break through, but they are only 30 points. Zhao Xiuxuan regretted adding the 10 points from Luo Yanbu to the root bone at this time. If it were added to the realm, it would be almost enough. However, regretting it at this time is of no use. Since the realm is too late, is there any other way? Skills. What skills can quickly enhance strength? 10 moves swordsmanship. Fireball technique. I have plans to improve by 1 level within a month, but it shouldn't have much effect. What I need is a way to protect myself. How to protect oneself? Zhao Xiuxuan frowned and suddenly a bright light flashed in his heart, focusing his gaze on Luo Yanbu, 1. 21 out of 200. When Luo Yanbu improved once, he was already able to fight against Chu Lanfei in the later stage of Qi refining for a while without losing. Although there was a reason for him to release water, it also showed that the improvement of his body method was beneficial to me. If I improved another layer, wouldn't it be just enough to deal with this demon hunting? If there were any unexpected situations, I could still run. Having made up his mind, Zhao Xiuxuan decided to prioritize the improvement of Luo Yanbu for this month. Closing the skill panel, he immediately unleashed his Luo Yan step and charged out of the door with high enthusiasm, running like a black smoke outside. One night, 2 beautiful women from Lingqing Peak were wearing thin and close-fitting clothes, holding up flickering lanterns and exploring the road. One of them looked at the hazy night with a halo like a wheel, and suddenly remembered something. He said to the woman holding a lantern next to him, Xiuyan, have you heard about it? Our Lingqing Peak has been haunted by ghosts in the past 2 weeks. The woman known as Xiu Yan had some fur behind her when she heard the fine wind blowing in the mountains. Her heart trembled upon hearing this, and her body stiffened a lot. However, she still didn't want to show her timidity, calmed down, and spoke boldly, Hi, you and I are both cultivators. In the secular world, we are already considered immortal masters. Why are we still afraid of spirits and ghosts? Besides, we have a mountain protection formation in Chishan, and no spirit or ghost can enter. The woman who just spoke saw that she didn't believe it, so she quickly added in a vivid way, Xiuyan, don't believe it. I just heard someone say during the day that someone met me at night and asked me what they looked like, but I didn't see it clearly. I only felt a black wind blowing by, and a humanoid phantom was waving its teeth and claws in a flash. The brave clan brother chased after me, but didn't catch up. When the woman spoke, she shrank her head and mind, her eyes wanting to look aside but not daring, so she could only stare at the lantern in Zhao Xiuyan's hand without blinking. The dim yellow light seemed to give her a shred of courage. Scared like this, luckily you still have to come out and use the restroom. As soon as she finished speaking, she suddenly felt a black wind passing by her side, and a humanoid phantom flew away in the moonlight. Their backs immediately became numb, and their necks stiffened. "Pop it." The lantern in his hand fell to the ground and made a loud noise, causing a string in the person's heart to scream as if it had been pulled apart. "Ah ah. Ghosts. Then close your eyes and run around with your head in your arms." Zhao Xiuxuan helplessly hid in a nearby tree and saw that they did not fall down the mountain due to panic. Instead, they ran for a while and rushed into the cave together, which relieved him. "This is the third time in the past half-month that I've been scared. It seems that it's better not to practice this Luo Yen step at night." After murmuring, he turned into a ghostly black smoke again, and a few virtual jumps left. Until all the mana was exhausted, the black smoke under my feet dissipated, and I stopped and sat down on the ground, crossing my body to use up Shantian Gong. At this moment, there was a small blue jade bag hanging around his waist, and he took out a bottle of elixir. This blue jade bag was the storage bag given to him by the clan, which he had already received in advance. Along with the bag, there were 10 Xuanwu talismans, 10 earth armor talismans, 10 fireball talismans, and a bottle of revival pill, which could be swallowed and restored to half of his mana in the battle. After 3 hours, the sky had gradually turned white. The last cycle of Shantian Gong had completed, and Zhao Xiuxuan suddenly felt waves of xianin entering his head. He was very familiar with this feeling. When he opened the skill panel, he was sure that, method. Shantian Gong, 1. 0 to 200, at this point, the skill panel has become, name. Zhao Xiuxuan, life expectancy. 2593 years old, root bone. Flat and unremarkable, 10 out of 100, realm. Qi refining level 5, 43 out of 100, practice. Shantian skill, 1. 0/200, remaining points. 10, skills. Spell. Fireball, 0. 47 out of 100, Luo Yanbu, 1. 182 out of 200, rebirth technique, 0. 5/100, control symbol. Xuanwu symbol, 0. 89 out of 100, exploring spirit talisman, 0. 10 out of 100, martial arts. 10 swordsmanship, 1. February 200, the previous 10 swordsmanship techniques have already been improved, and the 10 points obtained have also been added to the realm. Combined with the realm improvement obtained through the cultivation of Shantian Gong, the current realm has reached 43/100. In addition to the gradual improvement in realm, the upgrading of the 10-style swordsmanship also has a significant increase in strength. Originally, the sword energy, green on, combined with the arm palm, could chop melons and vegetables within 2 zhang. Now, within 3 zhang, the sword energy can penetrate mountains and rocks. Collaborating with Luo Yanbu is his biggest ghost-killing move now. I don't know what effect the upgrade of Shantian Gong will bring. End of this chapter. Chapter 6. Go to Wutong Mountain. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 6. Go to Wutong Mountain. Zhao Xiuxuan looked at the sky and saw that it was already dawn. At this moment, he was sitting cross-legged on the road on the ridge. If anyone came to see that it was not very elegant, his magic power had also been restored. He then ran back to the cave like a gust of wind with Luo Yanbu. Close the door, eagerly gather the 3 flowers and activate the advanced Shantian Gong. 6 hours later, he was pleasantly surprised and opened his eyes. The 100 Zhou Tian that used to take 8 hours to complete now only takes 6 hours, and the cultivation speed has increased significantly. Let's look at the realm again. Realm. Qi refining level 5, 44 out of 100, the level that has not been activated for a long time has unexpectedly increased by 1 point. The cultivation speed has obviously improved significantly. The members of the Zhao family are still struggling with the gradual decline of the Chishan spiritual pulse, causing their cultivation speed to fall into a quagmire. However, Zhao Xiuxuan's cultivation speed has increased instead of decreasing. How could it not be such a great thing? Zhao Xiuxuan walked excitedly in the room several times before stabilizing his mind. Looking at the 10 points obtained from the upgrade of Xiantian's skill, without hesitation, they were added to the realm. Suddenly, a burst of hot energy from the Dantian jumped into various acupoints and orifices. Realm. Qi refining level 5, 54/100, half of the 5th layer of gas refining has passed, and there is hope for a breakthrough in the 6th layer. In a few days, Luo Yanbu must upgrade again. Gugu, my stomach is ringing. Zhao Xiuxuan was hungry, so he hurried to the family dining hall to get 3 portions of ling rice porridge. As he sat down to eat it, he suddenly heard his peers whispering about him. It's him, Zhao Xiuxuan, have you all heard about it? Well, Zhao Xiuxuan, Zhao Xiuyan, Zhao Xiuming, these 3 are going to represent the Zhao family to hunt monsters in the Dead Sea. Monster hunting. Some people are extremely indignant. There's no such thing as hunting demons. I think the Chu family is hunting our Zhao family's children. As he spoke, the person stood up straight and strode over to Zhao Xiuxuan, bowing his hand and saying, Brother Xiuxuan, I am Zhao Xiuxuan from the Lingquan elders' lineage. Zhao Xiuxuan put down the bowl of ling rice porridge. He looked solemn and surprised. But according to the etiquette, he stood up and saluted, Brother Xiuxuan, what can I do for you? Zhao Xiuxuan suddenly hesitated. Just as Zhao Xiuxuan was puzzled, he suddenly took out a bottle of elixir from his arms and handed it to Zhao Xiuxuan. Brother Xiuxuan, this is half a bottle of spirit pill. Swallowing it can quickly restore a little mana, and the danger of the Dead Sea is unparalleled. I only have this spirit pill to help Brother Xiuxuan with his strength. Without hesitation, he put half a bottle of Ling Dan into Zhao Xiuxuan's hand and then turned around to leave. Several people suddenly stood up in the canteen, took out several talismans or the same bottle of elixirs from their arms, and placed them in front of Zhao Xiuxuan. As the old lineage of spiritual growth, 2 fireball talismans. Please accept them, brother. Lingquan Elder's Pulse, half a bottle of Spring Revival Pill, can heal injuries. My grandfather's name is Zhao Lingyu, and I have 3 divine symbols here. In no time, the table in front of Zhao Xiuxuan was filled with various objects, mostly pills, talismans, and other auxiliary items. Zhao Xiuxuan was silent for a long time. After looking at the young faces in the dining hall, he smiled and bowed his hands to the people of all ethnic groups. Then he rudely emptied the things on the table and put them into the storage bag. He slurped the remaining bowl of rice porridge and left in a hurry. In the following days, Zhao Xiuxuan found an uninhabited valley in Chishan and turned it into a light smoke, dedicating himself day and night to the cultivation of Luo Yanbu. Early in the morning on the 8th day of July, a wild rabbit in the valley secretly peeked out of the cave entrance, looking left and right to see if the human had left. In recent days, the valley has become a forbidden area for wild beasts, with a phantom running around like smoke under its feet. It has been restless for several days without coming out for convenience. Today I couldn't help but look outside without any movement. I peeked out and didn't see the figure of that person. It was not at ease yet, and its furry head spun around inside the hole until nothing was found outside. It then tiptoed out, cautiously looking left and right, and found a patch of grass, happily pulling up and defecating. However, it still felt uneasy, as if something was staring at it from behind. However, it turned back suddenly but saw nothing. After hastily pulling it, the wild rabbit jumped and ran towards the entrance of the cave, scanning the surroundings with its eyes constantly, and occasionally suddenly turning back. However, it still didn't notice anything until half of its body had penetrated the hole, which made it feel much more at ease. As it was about to retract into the rabbit hole, it instinctively glanced outside. Suddenly, a huge face was pressed against its nose, and this terrifying scene startled it. Its hair stood on end, and its legs were soft. It slid straight into a hole, frantically digging the ground, swearing never to appear in this valley again from now on. Zhao Xiuxuan laughed heartily when he saw that he had successfully scared a wild rabbit. At this moment, he was covered in dust, with leaves mixed on his head, and looked very messy. However, he was very happy because Luo Yanbu had upgraded again, becoming Luo Yanbu 2.01/400. After upgrading twice, his Luo Yanbu appeared and disappeared, stepping on the light smoke and following behind the rabbit, which could not be detected at all. Of course, there is still a gap between the wild rabbit and the cultivator, but it can also indirectly demonstrate the infinite use of Luo Yanbu 2. What's even more surprising is that Luo Yanbu's second upgrade did not earn 10 points, but 20 points. After fully investing in the realm, the original realm Qi refining level 5, 54 out of 100, it has become realm Qi refining 5 layers 74/100. This is undoubtedly good news, and the future is promising. Today is the day to go to Wutong Mountain. Zhao Xiuxuan first went back to the cave to clean himself up, changed into a blue yarn, and then ran to the door of the family hall like a gust of wind. At this moment, at the entrance of the main hall, Zhao Xiuyan and Zhao Xiuming were already waiting early. Zhao Xiuyan wore a blue Confucian dress with a double bun on her head, which was cute and playful. Zhao Xiuming has a burly figure, thick eyebrows and big eyes, with a fierce and diamond-like appearance. He wears a long blue veil and is bulging. Both of them had a blue cloud-patterned storage bag hanging around their waists, which must have been a reward given by the Mission clan. Zhao Xiuxuan was the last to arrive and bowed to both of them. It was only then that Zhao Xiuyan was discovered to be one of the 2 tribe members who were frightened that night. However, Zhao Xiuyan did not see his true appearance, so she did not realize that the spirit ghost, who had caused them to be restless for several nights, was the person in front of her. Xiuxuan cousin, Zhao Xiuyan, was lively by nature, with a smiling face, and took the initiative to shake her white and tender hands to say hello. Zhao Xiuming felt a bit suffocated and nodded in a buzzing tone. Seeing that all 3 of them had arrived, the clan leader Zhao Lingting and the elder Zhao Duxian, who was already dressed in old green clothes, walked out of the main hall. Xiuming, Xiuxuan, Xiuyan. I have already told each of you about the dangerous situations in this mission, and I won't say more. Among the 3 of you, you are Xiuming, Xiuxuan, and Xiuyan. You are the master of the 6 levels of Qi refining, and also the main cultivator of the diamond technique. You can use him as the main person on this trip, with Xiuxuan and Xiuyan as auxiliary. It's getting late, you guys go ahead. The 3 of them looked at each other and bowed to the clan leader with an arched hand. Seeking recommendation, seeking collection, seeking follow-up reading, end of this chapter. Chapter 7. Chu Lanfei. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 7. Chu Lanfei. 3 days later, in the east of Nanshan County, Wutong Mountain. 10 miles of wutong, birds and spirits interweave. Outside the gate of Wutong Mountain, there are 6 red giant pillars towering in the gatehouse memorial archway. In the letter, there are 4 gilded characters of Wutong Immortal Gate. A carriage came from outside the mountain and came to the gate of Wutong Mountain. An old man in blue came out of the carriage. It was Elder Zhao Duxian. Subsequently, several more people emerged from the car, including Zhao Xiuyan, Zhao Xiuxuan, Zhao Xiuming, and 3 others. This is Wutong Mountain. Sure enough, there are a lot of wutong trees. It's said that the Chu family uses Luan as their totem, and Luan birds like to inhabit wutong trees, so there are many wutong trees in Wutong Mountain. Zhao Xiuyan, as soon as she got off the carriage, just like a yellow bird, praised Wutong Mountain. Zhao Xiuming replied with a muffled voice. He has a strong physique, but he is not good at words. From Chishan to Wutong Mountain. The carriage drove for 3 days, and Zhao Xiuxuan also practiced Shantian Gong for 3 days. At the foot of the memorial archway on Wutong Mountain, two guards dressed as Chu's children stood proudly and showed their noses to the Zhao family. Who comes to our wutong immortal gate? The front is the boundary of the 6 great formations of our Chu family. Don't trespass. These 2 guards are only looking like 2 or 3 layers of qi refining, but their faces are full of arrogance. Zhao Xiuxuan took a step forward, neither rushing nor slowing down. Chishan Zhao family, Zhao Xiuxuan, bring 3 clan members to worship the mountain. Zhao family. It's the Zhao family who attacked me in the 6th greatest formation. The first sentence was said by the guards of the Chu family, while the last sentence was about a man in Xuani who flew from the mountains to repair. This man, with his hair trimmed like a halberd, glared angrily at the Zhao family. How brave! How dare you come? As he spoke, the person pointed and 3 fire fingers hit him head on. Elder Duxian took a step forward and stopped the 3 younger generations of the Zhao family behind him, waving a spiritual shield between his hands to protect the surroundings. Bang bang bang, the fire finger bullet made a crisp sound on the spiritual shield. Chu Shanxiong, this is the way the Chu family treats guests. Elder Du Xian clearly knows the person in front of him. Chu Shanxiong, whose hair was like a halberd, just narrowed his eyes and pretended to have a sudden enlightenment. Ha ha ha, who am I? I turned out to be a friend of Zhao Duxian. Ha ha ha, it was impolite and impolite. I just remembered that it was the invitation from the head of the family. I thought the Zhao family came knocking on me. Both of us are Taoist friends. We haven't seen each other for several years, and I have a bad memory. Don't blame me, don't blame me. Chu Shanxiong pretended to chat with Zhao Duxian for a while, then looked at Zhao Xiuxuan and the 3 others. These 3 young talents are the ones brought by Taoist friends to hunt monsters in the Dead Sea. They are both good and impressive, they are all dragons among the people. Come on, you 2, hurry up and take these talented Zhao family members to the Wan Palace. After speaking, he arched his hand and apologized. Duxian Dao friend, I have something else to do. Let's take a step first. With these words, several leaps disappeared into the dense forest of wutong. As they came and went, Zhao Xiuxuan and the others were momentarily stunned. But everyone understands that this is to give themselves and their group a boost. How many people, please? With the order of Chu Shanxiong, one of the guards walked out and led them across the gatehouse, along the steps, towards a palace complex on the mountain. The Chu family maintained its own secular royal family. The palaces built on Wutong Mountain were magnificent, with carved beams and painted rafters in the majority, red eaves and red pillars, and gilded beasts. The white jade steps are paved with carved tiles on the ground. The male members of the tribe are dressed in 2 layers of neat blue Wanxian clothing, with hair tied around their heads and dressed as noblemen. The female members are mostly dressed in peach red with gauze skirts and palace attire, with flying fairy buns or cloud buns tied on their heads. Zhao Xiuxuan and his companions walked 3 miles from the foot of the mountain gate, as if they had arrived at a secular palace, adorned with young gentlemen and wealthy ladies everywhere. Compared to the attire of the Chu family, the Zhao family wore a long green robe, which was much simpler. Along the long palace wall, the 4 members of the Zhao family, led by several Chu family members dressed similarly as guards, walked towards a large hall. At this moment, a group of young masters and ladies dressed in swords walked towards them. Seeing Zhao Xiuxuan and his companions, a man in black suddenly had a cold light in his eyes. Stop a few people casually, but the people of the Zhao family are very good. Last time, I was attacked by the people of your tribe in the 6 great arrays of Wutong Mountain. I was thinking of going to Chishan to seek justice, but I didn't expect you to come. As he spoke, a fire lotus hung from the top of his head while pinching the formula in his hand. Zhao Du appeared to have a mild temper and a calm demeanor. He was the most cautious and rational person in the clan besides the clan leader. However, as an elder of the clan, he was repeatedly ignored by the Chu family in front of the younger generation, and his face couldn't help but turn cold. Before he could make any movement, a beautiful and gorgeous woman in palace attire suddenly raised her hand to stop the man in Xuani who was about to take action. The woman placed a cinnabar between her forehead, her chest as crispy as snow. The man in Xuani saw the woman in palace attire standing out, so he extinguished the fire lotus on his head and coldly glanced at Zhao Xiuxuan and the others. The woman in palace attire walked forward and saluted Zhao Xiuxuan. I don't know if everyone has come a long way, but Lanfei missed the opportunity to greet me. Please forgive me. Lanfei. Chu Lanfei, Zhao Xiuxuan's eyes twitched and he curiously glanced at the woman in front of him. This is Chu Lanfei, the female lead of the Chu family who has divorced. I have long heard that this woman has exceptional talent and is no less impressive than Zhao Xiuxuan. Not only that, she is also incredibly beautiful, but her temperament is as proud as a orchid. Where are you looking, kid? Zhao Xiuxuan's curiosity towards Chu Lanfei seemed to anger the man in Xuani who had just stopped them. He waved his hand and was about to hit, but was stopped by Chu Lanfei. Chu Lanfei didn't even glance at Zhao Xiuxuan, and after chatting with Zhao Xiuxuan for a while, she left with a group of people. Looking at the cold, knife-like eyes of the Xuani kid staring at him just now, Zhao Xiuxuan thought to himself, it's really like sitting at home, disaster comes from heaven. Thinking of this, Zhao Xiuxuan turned around to take a second look. I happened to see Chu Lanfei swaying and disappearing into the beautiful back of the corner. Lanfei cousin, why did you stop me just now? The man in Xuani reversed his dominant attitude towards Zhao Xiuxuan and others, and looked at Chu Lanfei with gentle eyes. Last time, Zhao Xiuxuan dared to attack our wutong immortal mountain. What's more, he was so rude to you. I must take this out for you. Chu Lanfei frowned slightly, as if she was very uncomfortable hearing Zhao Xiuxuan's name. The incident with Zhao Xiuxuan has passed. This time, a few members of the Zhao family will accompany them to hunt for golden feathers and green birds in the Dead Sea. If you go up and cause trouble, not only will it not boost the momentum of our Chu family, but it will also make people feel that our Chu family's more than 300 years of inheritance are all some rude people. Chu Lanfei spoke very impolitely, with a hint of disdain for the man's behavior in her words. The man's face froze as he looked at the other tribe members behind him who were too scared to look, and he could only sneer and say, my cousin said, I don't know what the clan thinks, but I insist on bringing the people of the Zhao family up. His face lowered, and a hint of coldness flashed in his eyes. Thank you for your support. We are seeking recommendations, collections, and comments. The second chapter will be published at noon in the future. End of this chapter. Chapter 8. Summoning. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 8. Summoning Zhenluan Hall, the main hall of the Chu family. The golden roof and red gate, with a dazzling array of pearls and jade, are adorned with amber wine, jade cups, and golden foot cups. The bronze lamp pillars inside the hall are filled with a blazing fire. But the entire palace was empty, except for an old man sitting on the golden and jade steps above, with a crane-haired and childlike appearance, wearing a golden border black robe, embroidered with 2 blue phoenix birds. Chu family leader, Chu Zhenyu. A cultivator in the middle period of foundation construction. Zhao Xiuxuan led the way by bowing his hand and bowing in salute. Zhao family, Zhao Xiuxuan, pay respects to the Chu clan leader. Chu Zhenyu's eyes were slightly open, and his voice was cold as he said, Zhao Lingting didn't come. The head of the family has been in seclusion for several days and has not yet left the seclusion, so he cannot come. He specifically instructed Du Xian to report 1 or 2 offenses to the Chu clan chief. Oh, Chu Zhenyu's face was expressionless, and his gaze swept over Zhao Xiuming, Zhao Xiuyan, and Zhao Xiuxuan. He's just not here. What does he say about Zhao Xiuxuan's attack on our mountain gate? Zhao Duxian replied with a respectful expression on his face. Zhao Xiuxuan, an unworthy descendant of the Zhao family, collided with the Chu family's mountain gate and has been ordered by the clan leader to be banned for 30 years and not allowed to leave the mountain. Zhao Xiuxuan's marriage with Chu Lanfei is also invalid. According to the request of the Chu clan leader, I have brought 100 Xuanwu talismans today. equivalent to 130 spirit stones, to compensate for the loss of the 6 great formations. 3 young people have been selected from the younger generation to assist the Chu family's descendants in dying and hunting monsters in the sea. Speaking respectfully, Zhao took out a storage bag. The storage bag flew to Chu Jianyu's side, but he didn't even glance at it. Since the Zhao family has such sincerity, then consider it as the Zhao family's children acting recklessly. After speaking, he waved his hand and walked out of the hall from somewhere, wearing a blue robe and a graceful middle-aged man. Yuju, with the Zhao family residing in the Jingshin courtyard, will depart tomorrow for the Dead Sea. Chu Yuju arched his hand and said yes, then smiled and bowed to Zhao Duxian, could you please come with me? Following Chu Yuju, several people walked through the pavilions and lived in a quiet small courtyard, just 4 small houses. There was also a huge old wutong tree in the courtyard. If you have any needs, please feel free to come to me at the Qingshin pavilion where you just passed by. Chu Yuju treated the Zhao family with courtesy, and they quickly returned with the same courtesy. Brother Yuju, please do as you please. We can do as we please. Zhao Duxian talked to him for a while, and then Chu Yuju nodded politely to the 4 of them, waving his sleeves and leaving. The Chu family is bullying people too much. Even the Xiuxuan clan brothers are in such a miserable situation. It seems like our Zhao family owes them the Chu family. Seeing the Chu family leave, Zhao Xiuxuan, who had been holding back a lot of anger for a long time, said angrily. Although Zhao Xiuming was wooden, he respected her the most and quickly pushed her. The elder is still here, we must not be impolite. Zhao Duxian waved his hand behind the back of the 3 of them, unsure of what he was thinking. Zhao Xiuxuan hesitated for a moment and walked up the road. Elder, in your opinion, will there be any tricks in the Chu family's strategy of hunting monsters in the dry sea this time? Zhao Duxian pondered for a moment, shook his head to avoid the question, and said a few heartfelt words to several people. Remember, the Chu family wants to swallow the heart of our Zhao family, as everyone knows. There are countless families, big and small, in Nanshan County. Although they are called families, their lineage is far less abundant than that of our Zhao family. My ancestors founded the Zhao family with the golden elixir. Although at the time of its establishment, I spent most of my body to exchange for the Zhao family's gate, the foundation left behind by it, and even the treasure trove of the golden elixir, are not uncommon. In addition, our Zhao family's 100-acre spiritual field and the production technique of Xuanwu talismans have long been cherished by the wolves for their sins, but do you know why the Zhao family has survived these years? Zhao Xiuxuan had already analyzed these situations and blurted out at this moment, because of the Chu family. He paused for a moment and continued speaking, and the Li family. Zhao gave him a surprised look and then nodded solemnly. That's right, I didn't expect there to be a younger generation in the clan who can see so far. Zhao Xiuyan and Zhao Xiuming were listening in the mist beside them. Elder, brother Xiuxuan, what are you talking about? Zhao Duxian laughed heartily without explaining, and then continued, the Xiuxian family in Nanshan County is not a good class. Since more than 30 years ago, the founding ancestors of Zhao Baoxiu and Zhao Baoshan have been enslaved, and the fundamental reason why our Zhao family can still survive is that the Chu family has long regarded us as forbidden territory, half protecting and half monitoring, and not allowing other families to make decisions without authorization. In these years, there are 2 reasons why the Chu family has not personally taken action. Firstly, it is the Li family in Qingshan. 100 years ago, the Li family had 3 foundation building cultivators, and even an ancestor from the later stage of foundation building survived. Among the 3 families of Chu, Zhao, and Li, their influence was undoubtedly the strongest. After their ancestor passed away, the Li family began to expand aggressively, first annihilating several small families in the surrounding areas, gathering spiritual veins, and developing itself. Gradually, it threatened the Chu and Zhao families, and it was not until the Chu and Zhao intermarried and worked together to resist Li that the situation was stabilized. Although the ancestor of the Li family is now sitting down, correspondingly, there is a new young founder named Li Choyun who has built a foundation in the clan. The Li family still has a wolf-like heart and doesn't want to see the Chu family swallow my Zhao family's Taoist treasure alone, so they have been using it as a prank. These things, Zhao Xiuxuan also heard so specific and detailed for the first time, and some of his previous doubts were easily understood. From the beginning, the three families of Chu, Zhao, and Li fought against each other in court, to the alliance between Chu and Zhao, and now that Chu wants to swallow Zhao but Li does not allow it, they have vividly portrayed a Three Kingdoms drama. But what is the second reason? As for the second reason, Elder Duxian seemed to know what Zhao Xiuxuan was thinking and slowly said at this moment, footsteps could be heard outside the small courtyard. A few people looked silently. A palace maid walked slowly with lotus steps and a pair of watery eyes swept over several people before bowing to them with a smile. I don't know who is Zhao Xiuxuan, Zhao Gongzi. My master has invited me. Find me. Zhao Xiuxuan was taken aback in his heart. Zhao Duxian asked cautiously, I wonder who your master is. The master is Elder Yuji of the Chu family, the palace maid answered her confusion. Zhao Duxian breathed a sigh of relief and then curiously looked at Zhao Xiuxuan. It was clear that during the foundation construction period, Chu Yuji, who could also be considered Zhao Xiuxuan's grandmother, was summoned to him alone. Zhao Xiuxuan also couldn't figure it out and replied with a puzzled look. Zhao Duxian took out a letter and a jade phoenix pearl hairpin from his storage bag and handed them to Zhao Xiuxuan. Since Elder Yuji wants to see you, you can also hand over these two items to Elder Yuji. Go ahead, don't worry. Do you remember the second reason I mentioned? Elder Yuji is the second reason. Zhao Xiuxuan took a deep breath upon hearing the words and bowed to the palace maid, saying, could you please lead the way ahead? Yuji Palace, this is the palace where Chu Yuji, the only elder who built the foundation of the Chu family, resides. It is said to be a palace, but it does not have the 3 entrances and 3 exits of the Zhenluan Palace. The palace walls are like dragons, just 2 simple layers inside and outside. Although it is also a gold-painted jade shop, the entire hall is mostly hung with plain silk. Inside the Yuji Palace, there were many palace-dressed women with pink and crispy breasts. Zhao Xiuxuan was dazzled all the way, waiting at the door for the message to pass, and heard a soft voice coming from inside, come on in. Zhao Xiuxuan was slightly taken aback, thinking that there was an old lady of the same age as Zhao Lingting living inside. At most, she was under 30 years old when he heard this voice. Without much thought, he stepped in. Sitting on a jade platform covered in plain satin, there was a mature woman with a face of about 35. She wore a phoenix hairpin and a flying fairy bun, and was dressed in elegant and unadorned black clothes. Her appearance remains delicate and charming, with an extraordinary temperament. It's Chu Yuji. And beside her stood a familiar and graceful female cultivator. Today's second update, it's not easy for newcomers. We are seeking recommendations and collections. Feel free to leave comments. Please review more chapters. Thank you. End of this chapter. Chapter 9. Night Stay at the Chu Family. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 9 Night Stay at the Chu Family. Chu Lanfei. How could this woman be here? Not only Chu Lanfei, there is also one person in the hall, who was Chu Shanfeng, who drove Zhao Xiuxuan back to Chishan. Zhao Xiuxuan, the grandson of the younger generation, paid his respects to Yuji's grandmother and wished her a long and boundless life, which was in harmony with the heavens. Zhao Xiuxuan put himself in the position of the younger generation with just one opening of his mouth. He, Chu Yuji covered her mouth and chuckled lightly. Shanfeng, the kid you're talking about is really a wonderful person. Chu Shanfeng reciprocated with a haha smile. Auntie, I thought this kid had a great body technique, but I didn't expect him to have a great mouth. Zhao family kid, what was the body technique you used that day? Zhao Xiuxuan immediately tasted the atmosphere and felt a sense of peace in his heart. Thanks to Uncle Chu's mercy, my body movements are ordinary and just the basic Luo Yan steps of the Zhao family. Luoyanbu, it's impossible. Luoyanbu can't have such a wonderful effect. Don't hide anything, kid. Chu Shanfeng shook his head and pretended to be angry. Luo Yanbu is Luo Yanbu, and Zhao Xiuxuan naturally insisted and even performed a section in front of everyone. However, he was somewhat clumsy, only maintaining Luo Yanbu at the first level of mystery. Despite this, the black wind beneath his feet still surprised a few people. Chu Shanfeng saw it. That's not right, kid. Last time, I actually hit a hand. Chu Lanfei's eyes flickered, and there was a slight color on her face. After all, Chu Yuji has been staying at the Zhao family for so many years and sees that the door has come. Indeed, it originated from Luo Yanbu, but it is much stronger than Luo Yanbu. It seems that Xiuxuan has turned Luo Yanbu into a mystic. Hua Xian. Chu Shanfeng and Chu Lanfei's faces changed greatly. Zhao Xiuxuan's heart moved and he remembered the words of Hua Xian. Hua Xian refers to the cultivation of a certain skill to the extreme, returning to simplicity and transcending the realm of immortality, which is a difficult level to achieve. It takes decades of unremitting practice to strike at something, in order to touch a certain boundary, pierce it and turn it into mystery. After reaching the proficiency level in the skill panel, upgrading is like transforming into mystery. Zhao Xiuxuan remained non-committal, while Chu Yuji woke up the dreamer with one sentence. As his skill advantage gradually revealed, he knew how to explain it in the future. Chu Shanfeng and Chu Lanfei looked at Zhao Xiuxuan with disbelief on their faces. Chu Lanfei couldn't help but ask, "How did you do it?" Hua Xian is a rare occurrence, and even Chu Yuji is very curious about it. Zhao Xiuxuan can't say anything, he can only bow his hand and say just practice diligently every day, accumulate over time, and there are no other methods. The crowd was lost in thought, both understanding and seemingly not understanding. After a moment, everyone found out that deep questioning about this matter was fruitless, so they turned to talking about another matter. Xiu Xian, what do you think of Lan Fei's divorce? Chu Yuji's question puzzled Zhao Xiuxuan, and it was not the right question for him to answer. He looked at Chu Lanfei and gritted her teeth slightly. In my heart, I feel that this issue is somewhat fatal. If we stand in the position of the Zhao family, it is inevitable to count several heinous crimes, such as causing the Zhao family to lose face. However, it is not necessary to think about it, and we cannot say so. These people in front of us are ultimately members of the Chu family. If we stand in the position of the Chu family and say a few words that go against our identity, then if it spreads, how should we deal with ourselves? Moreover, the grandmother Yuji in front of us seems to be leaning towards the Zhao family. After some thought, he could only dodge, returning to Yuji's grandmother. Marriage matters should be personally decided by cousin Lanfei. The cultivation family, marriage matters, unless one's own strength is sufficient, it is extremely difficult to control oneself. Even the aristocratic families, imperial relatives, and nobles in the secular world rely on alliances to strengthen themselves. He said so, but in fact, his mouth was full of empty reasoning. But as soon as she said this, Chu Lanfei's eyes lit up. Chu Shanfeng pouted disdainfully and said, "You kid, you really don't know where the sky and earth are." Chu Yuji clapped her hands instead. What a person who personally makes the decision. But, speaking of this, she paused and then let out a sigh. Li Choyun, the young chieftain of the Li family in Qingshan, 2 months ago, gave me an appointment letter to marry Lan Fei in the Chu family. After all, how can I really make decisions on my own? The Li family wants to marry the Chu family. Chu Yuji's words were like a thunderous thunderbolt, echoing Zhao Xiuxuan and causing a huge uproar in his mind. The Li family has been repeatedly obstructing the Chu family's annexation of the Zhao family, and these two families have always had grudges. How could they start to make friends? If so, the Zhao family's hard-earned survival space will be in jeopardy. The dowry was given 2 months ago. No wonder, Chu Lanfei is going to divorce. It must be pressure from behind by the head of the Chu family. Li Chouyun, the newly appointed foundation-building cultivator of the Li family, if this marriage is successful, it will be a significant blow to the Zhao family. Zhao Xiuxuan was secretly shocked. Seeing Zhao Xiuxuan's quick penetration, Chu Yuji nodded. Li Chouyun was going to Wutong Mountain to discuss this matter with the family owner these 2 days, but Lanfei decided to join the Dead Sea Demon hunting team, which was delayed for some days. When you come back, it will probably be the day when Li Chouyun came to visit in person. With all that said, the whole story is clear and visible. Speaking of which, behind Chu Lanfei's divorce, it was actually a marriage alliance between the Chu and Li families. It must be that the Chu clan leader, who had been advocating for the annexation of the Zhao family, had reached some kind of agreement with the Li family. We need to take action against the Taoist treasure of the Zhao family. Of course, Chishan cannot be considered so important. Perhaps for these two families, dividing the Zhao family was just a matter of convenience. After all, the Zhao family now does not even have a foundation-building cultivator. Thinking about this, Zhao Xiuxuan raised his long-standing doubts. I dare ask my grandmother, why did my Zhao family's children accompany me in hunting demons this time? This matter has always been a knot rooted in his heart, and if it is not lifted, he will never be at ease. Upon hearing this, Chu Yuji chuckled lightly and said, Don't worry, this is also a good thing for you. Don't be nervous. I have already informed Zhao Lingting of the specific reason for this trip through a teleportation note. For the sake of my face, you should also do your best about the hunting of the golden feather blue bird. After all, it was me who asked Lanfei to join the team. If you had returned empty-handed, my face would have been dull. Grandmother instructed us to spare no effort in cultivating the Xian. With this answer, although Zhao Xiuxuan still had doubts in his heart, he felt much more at ease. Chu Yuji nodded. After a casual chat, Zhao Xiuxuan prepared to leave. Before leaving, Zhao Xiuxuan remembered the things in his arms and handed the letter and jade hairpin to Chu Yuji. Unexpectedly, Chu Yuji happily asked Chu Lanfei to help remove the phoenix hairpin from her head and insert the simple jade hairpin in her hand. When I was under pressure to return to the Chu family, I once promised Zhao Lingting that he would not die for a day and the Chu family would not attack Chishan for a day. Zhao Xiuxuan suddenly understood her position between the Chu and Zhao families. Leaving the Yuji palace, Zhao Xiuxuan, full of worries, abandoned the guidance of palace maids. A person walked slowly back along the original route, thinking about things. At this moment, the night was already hazy, and the entire Chu family was filled with lanterns that were as bright as fire, carrying a magnificent sight. Halfway through, he suddenly felt a faint prick behind him and the sound of hurried footsteps. He quickly took a Luo Yen step and hid under the shadow of a gatepost. At this moment, the 5 Xianpao young masters hurriedly arrived with a few steps. The person in charge was the Xuani man who stopped the Zhao family and their group at the palace wall when they first arrived at the Chu family today. People. Even if they see people walking this way, it's still the middle stage of qi refining, and they can't escape the encirclement of the 5 of us. He was furious and his face was as cold as ice. Brother Lan Ju, don't worry, I have a tracking token here. Let me come and find him. Just as the person next to him finished speaking, he took out a talisman from his waist storage bag. Zhao Xiuxuan's face turned cold as he hid in the darkness, and he took out a ghost mask with white fangs from his storage bag. Add a new chapter today, end of this chapter. Chapter 10. Chaos of the Chu Family. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 10 Chaos of the Chu Family, Ghosts. Ghosts. 5 disfigured young masters were running around in the Chu family palace, their heads hugging each other, their clothes and jackets in tattered condition, as if they had been cut apart by something. Stop. What kind of behavior? A member of the Chu family couldn't bear to watch and waved his hand. A golden light descended from the sky, transforming into a golden bell and directly covering it with the Chu lawn. Bang! That was the sound he made when he collided with the edge of the golden bell. This movement attracted many Xuanjia guards to walk onto the streets, climb up the palace wall, hold a jade talisman in their hands, and emit a brilliant light, shining on various dark corners. Chu Shanfeng impolitely caught one of the wandering young masters. "What's going on? What are you running for?" The young master trembled and trembled, his face turned white, and he couldn't articulate a word clearly. This person was the Chu family's son who took out the tracking token. Pa! Chu Shanfeng slapped his face, causing a red and swollen sensation. That person just came to his senses and stuttered out the reason. Originally, just 15 minutes ago, he was preparing to use that tracking symbol. A black wind suddenly blew in the field, and under the moonlight, a cold and gloomy feeling climbed up my heart. Where did the wind come from? Someone behind him muttered a sentence, and he instinctively turned his head to see a white-faced Fang. The phantom of black smoke under his feet was pressed against the back of the person who had just spoken, and that terrifying tooth was about to bite down. Ah! Fortunately, he shouted loudly, and everyone immediately became a mess. Chu Lan, who had a higher realm, waved his hand and struck with a fiery palm. However, the phantom, like a maggot attached to the bones, came close to him without any movement. It remained close to Chu Lan's back. No matter how he dodged, it could not be shaken off. He even raised his paws and a few green lights fell, leaving his shirt and robe in tattered condition. At this moment, the few people were suddenly frightened and dispersed in a panic. Chu Shanfeng frowned when he heard black smoke. The Chu family's palace was filled with spiritual light flashing everywhere, with figures in black robes fluttering under the walls, searching for the so-called ghosts and demons. Several figures in Xuani lightly tapped towards the foot of the Jingxin courtyard where the Zhao family lived, and quickly leaped towards them. The Zhao family seemed to have also heard the commotion. Zhao Duxian, Zhao Xiuming, and Zhao Xiuyan all walked out and looked at each other, not knowing what had happened. The leader, Chu Yujiu, wearing a crown hat, walked to the entrance of the small courtyard and looked at a few people. He found that one person was missing, and his eyes suddenly changed. However, his tone was relatively gentle. "I don't know where another Master Xiuxuan is." Zhao Duxian was about to say that he had been summoned by Chu Yuji when the house where Zhao Xiuxuan lived creaked and he walked out. Zhao Duxian's words reached his lips and he swallowed them again, curious about when Zhao Xiuxuan would return. Chu Yuji was stunned for a moment, then smiled in his eyes and said, "The Chu family seems to have intruded into Thieves tonight. For the safety of everyone, please try not to go out. A few attendants behind me will patrol the surrounding area. Please forgive me." After speaking, Chu Yuji said something to the 5 Xuanjia guards behind him, then bowed and, with a little tiptoe, flew back in a fiery manner. "The Chu family has entered a thief, that's great." After several guards left, Zhao Xiuyan raised her hand to congratulate and was pulled by Zhao Xiuming. "Xiuxuan cousin, when did you come back?" Zhao Xiuyan's eyes turned around. Zhao Xiuxuan returned at will, "It's been a while since I came back." It seems like an elder. Do you have any time now? I have something to report to you." Zhao Duxian nodded, knowing that he had gained something from Chu Yuji's side. "Follow me." The two of them arrived in the room, and Zhao Duxian waved and placed a soundproof cover before saying, "Tell me, why did Elder Yuji see you alone and what did he say to you?" The incident of Zhao Xiuxuan skipping the Luo Yen step only mentioned that he had fought with Chu Shanfeng at the foot of Chishan that day. Chu Shanfeng mentioned himself in front of Chu Yuji, and Chu Yuji was curious, which was why he met him. Later, he explained what Chu Yuji had said in detail. Zhao Duxian was also shocked when he heard that Li Chouyun, the new founder of the Li family, was about to form a Taoist couple with Chu Lanfei. This matter is not insignificant. After you go to the Dead Sea tomorrow, I will immediately return to the clan and discuss this matter with the clan leader Haoshen. It cannot be said that the rise and fall of the Zhao family is within this thought. Seeing Zhao Duxian looking restless, Zhao Xiuxuan silently retreated. Returning to the room, he opened the skill panel. Luo Yanbu, 2. 13/400, Realm. Qi Refining Level 5, 78 out of 100, seeing that Luo Yanbu's proficiency had improved by 1 or 2 points, he smiled slightly. Just now, Luo Yanbu and the sword hidden in his sleeve easily scared several Qi Refining cultivators of the Chu family, which is enough to show that his upgraded Luo Yanbu is incredibly powerful. The second upgrade of Luo Yan Step can earn 20 points. If the third upgrade is done, will you be able to earn more points? Luo Yan Step and the Realm are not incompatible with water and fire, but a combination of water and fire. After obtaining points, you can further improve the Realm, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. There was a lot of noise outside tonight, so it was not advisable to go out. The house was also small, and Luo Yanbu couldn't use it. Zhao Xiuxuan honestly practiced Shen Gong. Realm. Qi Refining Level 5, 81 out of 100, at the beginning of the rising sun, Zhao Xiuxuan opened his eyes and found himself full of energy after a night of cultivation. I wonder if it was the effect of the upgraded Shen skill. In addition, the speed of realm improvement was also much faster, increasing by 3 points in one night. At this moment, Chu Yuju came to invite, saying that the team heading to the Dead Sea had already arrived. The 4 of them walked back and forth into the courtyard. Zhao Duxian was very worried, so he bid farewell to the 3 younger generations and hurriedly prepared to return to Chishan. The 3 of them watched as Elder Xian left, and then followed Chu Yuju to yesterday's magnificent main hall, Zhenluan Hall. Compared to yesterday's emptiness and coldness, there are many people standing in the Zhenluan Hall today. All dressed in Xuani and wearing jade, Zhao Xiuxuan stood in full attire. He also saw Chu Lanju, who had been frightened by him yesterday, looking at him with a puzzled expression in his eyes. There are over a dozen young sons and daughters in the hall, with Chu Lanfei prominently among them. Chu Zhenyu, the head of the Chu family, was not present, and a strange man in a silk robe with an inch beard spoke from above. A few days ago, the clan received news that our demon hunting island, Lozan Island, was going to hold a group immortal meeting recently. There were many people and diverse eyes, which was not suitable for you to go to. This time, you can directly go to Qingma Island, one of the 3 mountains and 17 islands in the Dead Sea. In the hinterland of Qingma Island, there are also golden feathers and green birds. On this trip, Lanfei has 7 levels of Qi refining and the highest realm. You should take her as the leader. Also, Qingma Island is close to the inner sea of the Dead Sea, remember not to enter. Speaking, he glanced at the Zhao family who had just arrived. That's it, let's go. Zhao Xiuyan pursed her lips again and muttered softly to Zhao Xiuxuan, Xiuxuan cousin, do the people of the Chu family look down on us? Zhao Xiuxuan gently shook his head, but his gaze shifted to the 2 young cultivators who were out of place among the crowd about to depart. These 2 individuals, dressed in blue, appear completely different from the Chu family members in the surrounding Xuani. When talking to others, they are not far or close, and it seems that they are not members of the Chu family. It's not from the Chu family, so where are they from? Zhao Xiuxuan had a bad idea in his heart. The boat was bumpy. After setting out from the Wutong mountain of the Chu family, they boarded the 4 huge boats of the Chu family and headed eastward along the broad Sangjiang River. A party of 32 people, including 20 attendants of Xuanjia of the Chu family, and the rest, including Zhao Ximing, Zhao Xiuyan, and Zhao Xiuxuan, took part in the demon hunt, totaling 12 people. The Chu family's boat was built of wutong wood. Sitting in a room on the boat, the 3 smelled a fresh smell of wutong wood. Have the 2 cousins seen those 2 blue-clad cultivators? They were sent by the Li family in Qingshan. Zhao Xiuyan nibbled on the colorful fruits and melons provided by the Chu family while speaking mysteriously to the 2 of them. Today's first chapter, please feel free to collect and recommend it. If possible, could you please give a chapter review? Thank you. End of this chapter.